Very good evening, dosto. Welcome to my channel, that is Samadhan ICS. My name is Virender, and with the help of this channel, that is Samadhan ICS, I have already started the part of the modern history, and we have discussed how the Portuguese came to India initially, and what were their causes and policy, and why they got declined, and what kind of impacted that they have given to our country. And till now, Portuguese were there in India, but in 1951, after the Operation Vijay, they left totally. And after Portuguese, we have discussed how the Dutch people came to India, and what were the purposes of the Dutch people when they came to India. Before the Dutch people, we have started the very important topic, that's how Britishers came to India and how initially they wanted to trade in India in 1608, but they got failed, and later they impressed Britishers that they are the only sword against the Portuguese, and the Mughals actually inspired by the trust of war that the English was having at that time, and later on in 1613 they gave Surat to the Britishers, and later a number of territories of India has been given to the Britishers for the trade and other practices. And later on, Dutch also came to India, but because of their very negligible policy for the colonies, they remained to the Indonesia only because they were not very enthusiastic to capture any country to made it colony, and their only motive was to earn the money from any continent, from any country, from any area. It may be India, it may be Indonesia, whatsoever. So they came to India, but after a few treaties, and after a few like very small kind of treaty, and very easy diversion of Dutch, actually we have seen in the history of India by the Britishers, and they remained in Indonesia. So till now we have discussed that, and we also seen that what kind of influence Britishers have started in India. But now I'm going to start very important topic, that's the French. Before starting that, I would like to make an apology that I won't able to post this video regularly because of my poor health. I have started one of the series for the current affairs. Uh, I told you that my sources were The Hindu and PIB, and a few notices of Indian Express also. But again, because of poor health, I can't help it out. But surely, as if now from the near future, I will try to make it on the regular basis if everything goes on the right track. So, friends, now let's start the topic. That's the French. How French came to India, and then we will see about the Carnatic Wars, because these are the very important wars. They have asked, say, like various time in the UPSC and in other exams also, in SSC and other states exam also. And further, if you are having the your main subject as the history, so it will surely help you out to understand what was the purpose of the this Carnatic War. But to understand the Carnatic Wars, because they are somehow very confusing war, there are the number of facts that are available in Carnatic Wars. So in order to understand the Carnatic War, first you have to understand the base the French have created in India. So now let's start it. The French. In the reign of Louis XIV, he was the person in the French who actually permitted, to the one of the French company, that was the French East India Company, under the Ministry of Colbert. Under the Ministry of Colbert in 1664, that we would now regulate a French company, and it would be the East India Company of French, or French East India Company. So first time it happened in the history that any not any private company, but a government company directly came to a particular territory for tradesmanship and for further anything, and they created a kind of monopoly for the company for next 50 years. It means no other company from the France would be allowed to come to India for tradesmanship and for other kind of uh, for any other kind of pleasure. If they would like to help get from India, they are not allowed for any kind of trade and any other thing from India. Only one company, that was the French East India Company, was allowed. So that was allowed in 1664. But after wasting 2 to 3 years in island, that was the Madagascar island. It is one of the island in Africa, in the southern part of Africa. You can see in the map, as we can see frequently Sri Lanka in our map. So you can see Madagascar almost on the same location, but in the Africa. So they wasted their time, money and energy in Madagascar, and later they encroached towards the Indian Ocean and they came to India. So from Madagascar island they came to Indian Ocean and they reached to India. In 1667, initially, there was a person who headed the whole cargo of these ship. His name was the Francis Coron. Francis Coron actually initially he asked, and the permission has granted to him to establish the factory in Surat. So in 1667 he established a factory in Surat. So first factory was established in Surat, and this was under this was headed and guided by the Francis Condon. So in 1667 they started their trademanship and their business in India. Again, I would like to tell you everything was going contemporary. If I will say Portuguese, if I will say Britishers, if I will say Dutch, those were in India. They were also present in India. Somehow, some were in a large humongous amount, some were in a very minutable countable numbers. But every company, every trademanship was available in India. So they were anyhow contemporary. So everything was going parallel. You can't deny the fact that Portuguese were totally evaded from here, or Britishers were never overshadow if French got any kind of permission. We can't deny these facts. But anyhow, these facts are not important from exam perspective. These are not very important from exam perspective if you are only going for general studies. But if you like to prepare for history, so then you have to mug up or understand this factor very thoroughly. But not as if now, but make it very understandable in your mind that everything was going contemporary. So as I'd say contemporary, so things were going parallel. So in 1667, they established a factory in Surat and headed by this person, Francis Cornum. Later on, with the help of this king of Golconda, this was the area of Golconda. I already earlier told you in the previous lectures also. They established one more factory in the Musli-Patnam. So here is the place Musli-Patnam. It is currently in Hyderabad. I'm sorry, it's Andhra Pradesh. So they established one factory in Musli-Patnam in Andhra Pradesh, but in 1669, after 2 years of Surat. Later, they asked permission from the Subedar of this area of I may say Calcutta. His name was Sahista Khan. So they asked permission from the Sahista Khan, and he gave them permission to establish a proper township. It's not only the factory, but along with the factory, there would be the quarters to stay over there. There must be some other kind of like commercial activities that may occur. So it's a proper township. As if now, if I will give an example of township, there are the n number of township that was directly created by the Britishers or the Western countries. Those came to India. Say go to Goa, you will able to understand that sometime we will see Delhi, this area of hub of Delhi, that's Connaught Place. You can understand the sectors of Chandigarh, the area of Bengaluru. So all these area actually established by a number of Western colonies, but not only the regulation of factories, but to regulate the proper township. So same thing they actually done with this area of near Calcutta, or later now it's a part of Calcutta. It's Chandar Nagar, or we can say Chandar Nagar, under permission of Sahista Khan. Sahista Khan, one of the Subedar of Mughals, and at that time Aurangzeb was on the throne. So under the reign of Aurangzeb, the Sahista Khan was the Subedar, and he gave the permission to the French person that you can have your factory here in Chandranagar, that is near to Calcutta at that time. So everything was going as per the plan of the French people. They started their trademanship, and along with the trademanship, they also importantly made it very monopoly for them, and they made it their very proper mind that everything will directly like if any trade previously done by say Britishers or Portuguese or Dutch people, those trade was done by the private players. So what government was asking from the private players was the tax or some part of revenue, but not whole profit. Now in this case, in the case of French, whole profit now definitely would come into the pocket of government. So one can't do the tax evasion. It could not be possible here in the case of French people, because totally 100% monopoly was into the hand of the government. No disinvestment, nothing policy was there at that time. Okay, so they actually started their business from these three territories, and later on there was a person, his name was Francois Martin. So earlier his name was Francois Coron, his name is Francois Martin. This person asked for permission to definitely promote the tradesmanship of French company, and they got that. And from whom they asked the permission? He asked the permission from Sher Khan Lodi, and they granted it. Sher Khan Lodi was a very important emperor of Karnataka. See, my dear friend, at that time, this whole area was under the this whole area was under the, what I will say, princely of Karnataka. Later it became the Karnataka after decline of Mughal, because say after Aurangzeb there were only few emperor came to India and tried to establish Mughal emperor again in India, but never got that kind of success as Aurangzeb got at that time. And this area was the Karnataka, and this Sher Khan was the head of this area. He was the king of this area. His name was Valikondapuram. Valikondapuram, he granted permission to the French to establish their factories in Karikal. This is the Karyakal. Then Balasore, that is in Odisha, Balasore. Then first Karakul, this is the Karakul. Then in Balasore, Odisha. Later in Kasim Bazar. Now Kasim Bazar, it's a part of Kolkata. Kasim Bazar is the part of Kolkata. And last in Mahe. So all these important cities or all these coastal areas, this person, his name was Francis Martin, he got permission to start the tradesmanship from all these areas, and they finally got the permission from the local rulers. But my dear friend, importantly, I would like to say a very important information to you. I hope you are already aware about that. If someday somebody will ask you, where is the Puducherry? So you must know there are four important cities of the Puducherry. Okay, so one, two, three, and these three, and one more important city is here. So this area is totally called Puducherry, and this area itself Pondicherry. This area is itself the Pondicherry. So this whole actually township created by the French people, and after even the decline of French from across the country, still a number of locals from the France were remained in India for very longer period of time. Say after independence also, someday we will see this thing in the modern history also. So this whole area, Puducherry, whole area was come under the influence of French, and they started their business whatsoever they would like to, and they started good tradesmanship. But everything was going on the plan, but still something bad happened with the French people. The Dutch people, they had a skirmish war with the French people in 1688, and they captured this area of Pondicherry and this Karikala area of Pondicherry, and they remained it with them in, from 1693 to 1697. But in 1697 there was a treaty occurred between French and Dutch people. The treaty was a treaty named as the uh, Treaty of Ryswick. Treaty of Ryswick. Under this treaty, Dutch were agreed to the France. Okay, we will give your territory back to you, but with that we also won't disturb our trademanship in any part of the country, because after such kind of like war and battle kind of situation, they start getting in different kind of tussles, not in India itself, but in the western the area of westward from uh, like from where they actually belong. So there were a number of tussles started over there also, and India also. That's why they agreed, okay, we will give you whatever we took from you. So actually this area, Rijswijk area, is one of the area that is in Netherlands right now itself. So Netherlands, they agreed because see what happened in Netherlands. The French people actually acquired few area of Germany, and that area of Germany was with this people, with the Dutch people and with the English people. So at that time they acquired the area of Germany. So these people, so Dutch people, then okay, they agreed whatever the French people said to them, because they also came to know that in the Germany they won't able to get that much of money as they can get from India. So they give that area of German to the Netherlands, or I will say to the collectively Netherlands and to the Britishers, and got their area begin. So sorry, got their area back from the Dutch, and that area was the Puducherry. And this city that is available in Netherlands till now, that is there. You will search it in the map. You are able to see this city, Rijswijk. It is still there. So because there was a tussle in the Western world, so that affected to the Eastern world, and because French actually acquired few area of the Dutch, they gave it back in the West and they got it back in the East. Okay, but everything was going fine. But later on, when all important empire of India, that was the Mongolian empire, the empire of Mughals, start getting decline. So it affected almost whole India. See, that's the reality. It's important to have the class teacher or the monitor or whatever name you like to give, the class representative or the CR. It is important because leadership is somehow important. When there is no leadership, everybody started having tussles. Everybody starting having war with each other. Very small princely states start getting or start saying that they are now independent. They would be having their own currency, own territory, and number disputes have started in India in the local people. So in 1720, like till 1720, and after 1700, at least in 20 years, French actually didn't get n number of trade n number of what I will say profit from India. But anyhow they start giving salaries and everything to these government employees, those were in India, from their high end profit that they earned previously. So if I'll say they start like actually giving salaries to the French people, those are India, from their pocket. But after 1720, see, after the death of this person Martin, after the death of, so things are getting declined. He, I think, uh, in 1708, that was the last year of Martin, and after that, the whole French era got declined. But after a few important policy of Lanier and Dumas, they were very active governor of the French. Again, French start heading up toward the profit and toward the north. And later on, because of few Carnatic wars, things got out of the track for the French. So we will see in the next lecture. I'm sorry. What were the reasons of the Carnatic War? I will try to make it on the very regular basis. So first you have to understand what's the reason of the Carnatic War. What is the behind history of first Carnatic War? If you understand that, then you will later understand everything. But before ending this lecture, I would like to again tell you, this was the area of Karnataka. In current map, if you will see in the like in the today's map, that's the area of Tamil Nadu. But earlier that was the area of Karnataka. So that's why actually war happened in this areas only. There was a river important name. So I will tell you the next lecture what was the name of that river. So in the bank of that river actually now the part of this Tamil Nadu. But earlier this area actually called as the Karnataka. So that's why it's called the Carnatic Wars. But actually Carnatic War never happened in Karnataka, but in this area of Tamil Nadu. So always keep it in mind. And for you people, the word Nadu, N-A-D, it means the place, the land, Tamil land, the land of Tamilians, the land where the Tamilian people or the country of Tamil. So it's the name of Tamil Nadu. So one information I shared with you. So thank you so much, all of you. I request you kindly like it, subscribe it, and share it. Thank you.